Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper. Takedown. Our exploration of the sport continues. We head to the East Coast and the home of one John Licata. John, how are you?
Scott, I am well, and I am in my home today. Thank
Nice.
you.
As we head to the holiday weekend that is July 4th, what better way to talk about it than and salute it than by talking about perhaps one of the great explosions in our sport each and every year. And it starts with a bang for sure, the All-Star Classic. John, this coming All-Star Classic is rather special, isn't it?
It is special, Scott. Not only is it our fourth year managing it in partnership with the National Wrestling Coaches Association, but it is the 50th anniversary of the Classic, and that's special.
It is.
That's really special.
And this year, I suppose it will be bigger, better. It's in Atlanta this year. First of all, how did it end up in Atlanta?
Well, you being involved in the Wrestlers in Business Network, you know a little bit about the goings on, but our Atlanta chapter is just doing a great job. And when we explored starting a chapter in Atlanta, right out of the great gate, their leader, the chapter president, Rob Larimore, said, John, we want to bring the Classic to Atlanta. We want Atlanta to be more of an epicenter of wrestling. You know, they've tried to get the NCAA tournament there. So they really set out to have a goal pretty early to do it. And it happened a little quicker than I thought, but we're excited about it. And it's going to be a wonderful event.
We're talking with John Licata, the founder of the Wrestlers in Business Network. John, so many years you've been involved in wrestling. We date back to, I think, when you were 13. So if my math is right, it's about 44 years for you.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school. So I've been around for a while now, so it's 44 years. And, looking at my face here, I wish I could give you my college graduation picture as opposed to the one that's presently on the body.
Believe me, we have to look long and hard to find a good shot of me for any legal documentation. I'll tell you that. So
you have a good face for radio.
Yeah, I do.
As well as I.
Thank you so much for that. Georgia Tech, the campus of Georgia Tech hasn't had a Division I wrestling for a while. I hope an event like this raises some awareness on that campus, or is that in fact what it's designed to do?
Well, I mean, the guys in Atlanta, that is what their hope is. I mean, ultimately, they wanted to have a function downtown. Atlanta's a beautiful town, and they wanted to showcase it and have a great event, and hopefully demonstrate in the future to the NCAA that they can carry an event like this. But very subtly, we get that place rocking at an ACC BCS school. And that is certainly a subline goal of the Wrestlers in Business Network and the Atlanta chapter and their leadership.
There is an event coming up. I should say just took place. It was a great dinner down there Wednesday, June 3rd. Neat leadership dinner, how coaching has transformed over the last 25 years. And, it's one of the things that Atlanta likes to do. They like to get together and celebrate the sport.
Well, it's such a strong economic area. It's obviously the biggest in the Southeast. And there's a lot of good people who came in from other parts. Rob Larimore, I remember when he was a little wrestler at Kempsville. He wasn't too little, but he and Steve Martin were high school teammates. I remember that back in the 80s. And, of course, both of them did pretty well. And Steve coaching at Old Dominion. So it's amazing how many good people are in Atlanta. But Scott, we're finding them everywhere. The network is strong, and there's wrestlers and former wrestlers in all parts of the country.
You bet. And that's one of the best things that the Wrestlers in Business Network does. It gathers wrestlers back together, that family. In this case, it's wrestlers doing business with wrestlers, and that's what the Wrestlers in Business Network is all about. You encourage that, right?
I mean, ultimately, what we feel we've had a great response is bringing people who've been away from the sport. When you're done competing, typically you go on to your career, your family and career. the network, the Wrestlers in Business Network, is bringing a lot of great people back. And I think more than anything else, Scott, it's not like we have a heck of a lot of money. We're a grassroots group. We don't have a great budget, but we've been able to exceed and do so much because of it really comes down to the people. And I would put our people up with, any group in the country. I mean, it's a great group of successful professionals, and Atlanta is full of them.
It is indeed. Folks, you want to mark your calendars. Join us the 31st of October and Sunday, November 1st, for the 50th anniversary edition of the NWCA AllStar Classic. It'll take place at the McManus Center on the campus of Georgia Tech. You want to get your tickets when they become available. You want to make sure to plan that weekend. Bring your spouse, bring your family, and gather together as we celebrate a brand new season of wrestling here in the U.S. The colleges will be getting fired up at that point, and competition will be underway. So you're expecting how many different matchups are we expecting for the big 50th edition?
Well, of course, we have the 10 traditional matchups, those 20 kids, the traditional all-stars. The NWCA has a process for that's been going on for 50 years. We will have what we call our undercard. This year will be a little different. In the past, we've had 4 undercard matches. This year, we're going to have 8. Those undercards are going to be on 2 mats. USA Wrestling will have 2 matches. Remember, a couple of years ago, our first year, they had 2, and then the last 2 years, they've had 2 women's matches. This year, we expect to have a women's match and a male match. So we're pretty excited about it. We're engaging not only good people, but bringing USA Wrestling in has been kind of special for us. And this is a community event, so everyone's welcome. And no doubt we'll have, a variety of sponsors from different disciplines, and New Way's been involved, and I expect that they'll be involved again this year. We've had Brute involved, with the singlets, and I'm sure we'll have, them or something similar. So it truly is a community event. Unlike the NCAA tournament, where it's pretty rigid in how they run things. We have a lot of flexibility to bring people and engage people in this. It doesn't happen without the community, Scott. It doesn't happen without your help, Scott.
Well, there's Sandy and I and so many others will be there to assist in the presentation. Folks, we're talking about the Wrestlers in Business Network and the National Wrestling Coaches Association putting together an event that kicks off the season. We've held it in a lot of different places, and over the 4 years of management by Wrestlers in Business, this event has made money and given a lot of money back to the community. Most notably, I think the event you did at George Mason really raised awareness on that campus, specifically to the president and to the athletic director. I think we opened up some eyes there.
We do, and the George Mason program has benefited, and they're up and coming. I mean, it demonstrates. I think that the network, and certainly the AllStar Classic is a great instrument, but it demonstrates to the administration and the local community that wrestling is strong, it's viable, it has good people. We don't meet the stereotype. We have great people, and it's a program that they should want on their campus.
There are chapters around the country. You can find out more online at wrestlersinbusiness.org. Atlanta's in there, of course. Cleveland, Long Island, Washington, Princeton, Philadelphia, North Carolina. There are, and by the way, Long Island perhaps should be called Strong Island. Let's just put it out there. The Central Iowa chapter. There's growth in this organization on a regular basis. You can become a part of it just by becoming a member of it. So it's easy enough to do. Do it online, wrestlersinbusiness.org. Our guest today, John Licata. We're talking about the 50th edition of the All-Star Classic. So it's not just Sunday. It's not just the meet itself. It's the 31st, Saturday, the 31st of October. Tell us what will be going on that day in general. I understand as we get closer, things are being, will be more specific.
Yep.
But what are the offerings on Saturday? Because that's
Well,
a full day as well.
Couple things. One, this is a festival now. We've taken, I think, some good practices from the MMA, from WWE, and certainly the NBA All-Star Game and Major League Baseball. And it's a festival atmosphere. The kids will do their part. They'll compete. They'll wrestle hard. But we'll have a wonderful clinic, the All-Star Clinic, which has it's a very exclusive clinician group. You've either wrestled in the Classic, or you're an Olympian or an NCAA champion. Wade Chalice manages that for us. He does a great job, as you know. He takes great pride in that. We're happy to have Wade involved. And then we'll have our Wrestlers in Business social just prior to the event. That brings in, anybody and everybody comes into a nice social, and that's what we do. And we're about, creating an environment for people to meet each other, do business, support each other's career. Give a wrestler a job first. Help your wrestling friends first. And there are a couple opportunities that we're exploring, not having it on at a campus where there is an active wrestling program, that we might be able to do some different things in those matchups, and we're hoping to do that. More to come. I also want to let you know, and I'm not able to say which network it is, but we are going to have a major network broadcasting the event live. So this will be, there's only one other event that's broadcast live on a major network, and that's the NCAA tournament. That concludes the year. This kicks off the year, and we're pretty excited about that. Maybe somewhere down the line, not too far out, we'll be able to tell you who that's going to be. You could guess, Scott.
I understand there may be some letters in the name of the network, so that's all I'm going to say. So
you don't have to have a great imagination.
We're very excited as well, but we're looking forward to it. John, it's always good to talk to you. As we get closer, we'll be interviewing many of the competitors, some of the coaches that are involved, and other principals within the Wrestlers in Business Network. Surely those from the Atlanta chapter that are playing host, but it's going to be one for the record books as we celebrate the 50th edition, the 50th anniversary of the NWCA All-Star Classic. John Licata, the founder of the Wrestlers in Business Network, and he has been our guest in the Nike Hot Seat. I promised you it wouldn't hurt, and I hope I lived up to my promise.
Hey, Scott, let me just say that every year we tell the next host that you got to do better than the year before. And the Philadelphia group did a great job. I expect Rob Larimore and the Atlanta group is going to be the best ever. And then next year when it's in Cleveland, Aaron Grossman will be the best ever. So in the Cleveland group. So thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate your support.
Man, I tell you what, he just threw down the challenge, didn't he?
Every
year it's got to get better. John Licata, thank you so much, my brother, for all you do for wrestling. You obviously understand the idea of giving back, and it's working. It's showing. Your love of the sport shows. Thank you, John.
Talk to you soon, Scott. Happy holiday.
Happy holiday to you. To each and every one of you, thank you so much for watching, and happy 4th of July. John Licata has been our guest in the Nike Hot Seat. I'm Scott Casper for Takedown, and again, thanks for watching.